This morning, you turned a handle and hot water appeared from a wall. You squeezed a tube of paste onto a plastic bristle tool and scrubbed bacteria off your teeth. You stood under a warm artificial waterfall for 10 minutes, a waterfall you control with a single dial, and didn't think about it once. Then you probably still needed coffee before you felt like a person. Now imagine all of that is just gone. No handle, no tube, no waterfall, no plastic, just you, the weather, and 30 other people dealing with the exact same problem. That was every single morning for 300,000 years. And the way ancient humans handled it, not what you'd expect. The tooth problem. Right now, your mouth contains about 700 different species of bacteria. Brushing doesn't eliminate them. It just keeps them in check. You manage the ecosystem. You don't own it. Ancient humans had none of our tools. No brush, no paste, no floss, no mouthwash. And yet when archaeologists examine skulls from tens of thousands of years ago, they keep finding the same surprising thing. The teeth are often in better shape than yours. A 2013 study in Nature Genetics analyzed bacteria preserved inside ancient human teeth going back 7,500 years. What they found was clear. The bacteria that caused tooth decay were relatively rare before farming. After humans switched to grain-heavy diets, bread, porridge, refined carbohydrates, those bacteria exploded. Ancient people didn't have better dental hygiene. They had better food. A varied diet of meat, roots, nuts, leaves, and berries didn't give decay bacteria much to work with. The moment we invented bread, we invented cavities. But ancient humans weren't doing nothing either. Archaeological sites across Africa and the Middle East show evidence of small sticks, frayed at one end, used to clean between teeth. These weren't random twigs. Sticks from trees like neem and miswak contain natural antibacterial compounds. Modern studies have confirmed they work nearly as well as a standard toothbrush. Ancient humans didn't know the chemistry. They just noticed that certain sticks left their mouths feeling cleaner, and they kept using them. Which is, honestly, how science still works. Body odor, the uncomfortable part. Here's something nobody tells you. When you skip a shower, you don't actually smell as bad as you think. Sweat itself is almost odorless. It's mostly water and salt. What creates body odor is bacteria on your skin digesting the compounds in your sweat and producing waste. Those bacteria live mainly in your armpits and groin, and they thrive when you wear the same warm clothes for days at a time. Ancient humans lived outdoors, moving air, smaller groups, no synthetic fabrics trapping heat. Their bacterial situation was genuinely different. Researchers who've studied communities that have never used soap or deodorant found something interesting. Their skin microbiome isn't worse than ours. It's just different. We've wiped out entire populations of bacteria through modern hygiene products. And some of those bacteria were actually doing useful things, fighting pathogens, regulating skin chemistry, producing natural antimicrobials. As for smell management, ancient humans used plants. Evidence from multiple archaeological sites shows people rubbing aromatic herbs onto their skin. Mint, sage, juniper, lavender, mostly for insect repellent, but the effect was the same. They smelled like the forest, which, in a world made entirely of forest, was not a bad way to smell. Hair. If you stopped shampooing tomorrow, the first few weeks would be rough. Your scalp would overproduce oil because years of regular shampooing trained it to compensate for constant stripping. It would take weeks to recalibrate. Ancient humans never started that cycle. Their scalps produced oil at a rate suited to a life without shampoo. Combs made of bone and would show up at archaeological sites dating back over 10,000 years. Hair management existed, it just looked different. The main method was grooming each other. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar, who famously mapped the limits of human social groups, argues that physical grooming was the original form of human bonding before language became sophisticated enough to take over. Sitting with someone and picking through their hair is intimate. It requires trust, closeness, time. It wasn't just parasite removal. It was how you said, "I've got you." Ancient humans did this for hours every day. Not because they had nothing better to do, because in a world where your survival depended entirely on your group, maintaining those bonds was the most important thing you could do. Bathing. Here's a myth worth killing quickly. Ancient humans were dirty and didn't bathe. That's completely wrong. And it seems to come from confusing ancient hunter-gatherers with medieval Europeans, who are a very different story. Ancient humans lived near water. They needed it to survive. The Hadza of Tanzania, one of the last true hunter-gatherer groups alive today, bathe in rivers as a completely normal part of daily life. There's no reason to believe ancient humans did any differently. What they didn't have was soap. The earliest evidence of soap production comes from ancient Babylon, around 2800 BC. Before that, people used alternatives. Sand as an abrasive. Ash mixed with water creates a mildly alkaline solution that cuts through grease, not unlike what soap does. Clay draws oil out of skin when applied and rinsed off. Not as effective as a bar of Dove, but not nothing either. The part nobody wants to ask about. Fine, let's talk about it. Ancient humans dealt with bathroom needs the way every other animal on Earth does. They went outside, but they were smarter about it than that sounds. Multiple archaeological sites show evidence of designated latrine areas, specific spots kept deliberately separate from sleeping and eating spaces. Even the Neanderthals, our closest relatives, show signs of this behavior at sites in Spain and France. This matters enormously. Separating waste from living areas is one of the most powerful public health behaviors that exists. Most of history's great plagues didn't happen because people were dirty. They happened because cities packed thousands of people together without the space to keep waste away from water. Small nomadic groups naturally maintained that distance just by moving regularly. Ancient hunter-gatherers weren't more hygienic than medieval city dwellers because they were smarter. They were more hygienic because they never stopped moving. What this actually means: for 300,000 years, humans stayed clean enough not just to survive, but to build cultures, languages, relationships, and art without a single manufactured product. The chewing sticks, the aromatic plants, the river baths, the social grooming, the latrine areas. These weren't primitive workarounds. They were working solutions. Some of them, like miswak sticks, we're still studying today because they genuinely hold up. Your morning routine is extraordinary. Hot water on demand, engineered paste, a perfectly calibrated shower head. It's the product of thousands of years of accumulated knowledge. It's incredible, but it's solving a problem that ancient humans solved by simply paying attention, noticing which stick felt better, which plant kept the bugs away, which spot to avoid. Your ancestors weren't dirty. They were just working with different tools. And some of those tools, it turns out, were a lot better than we gave them credit for.